if you are in your early 20s, you can be a good business broker. All it really takes to put your head and heart into it, how much you want to do this. It's a profession, like any other professions. If you are interested and if you are passionate about people and businesses, and you can do a really good job. But the main thing is just start from somewhere, take the action, and it will just roll through. Don't wait until, too late, because it's always a supply-demand relationship. If you come onto market when there's not many competition, then your business potentially could worth more.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ways to Wealth. Today I am joined by Serdar. Serdar, why don't you give us the too long didn't read on who you are and what got you here today?
My name is Serdar Kabul. I'm a business broker. I'm working with Link. I've been a business broker for about 7 years. So I'm originally from Turkey. I was born and raised in Istanbul before coming to New Zealand in 2013. And we sell businesses really anywhere in the country.
That's cool. And you said for about 6 years, and you said that you moved here in 2013 before. I guess I'm giving a bit of extra info because we had a conversation before. But so you've been in business broking for 6 years. What was the catalyst that led to that decision? Because that was after you'd already been in New Zealand for a while.
To be honest, I didn't know anything about business broking. I didn't know there is a profession exists as a business broking. Because where I was growing up in Turkey, I think it's not a very common profession to have. There are business brokers there, but I think they are doing more like mergers and acquisitions in hundreds of $1 million deals. So what happened is in 2015, I started looking for a business in New Zealand as a fresh immigrant. I thought, what I'm going to do here, and might as well do something my own. And knowing that New Zealand is a great country to set up a business in for new startups. That's what I figured out when I started looking for a business. And I've been to a few business broker offices, including Link, and I couldn't really click with any business I was looking for. And I decided to set up my own business, and that was an import business, importing pet food. And a year later, my friend approached me, so we set up another company, another import business with different products, medical products. And we ran those businesses for about 3.5 years. We exited the business with my shareholder, with my business partner. We decided to exit together. And I really enjoy selling the business more than running, to be honest.
You preferred selling it?
Yes, I sold it privately, and I met with lots of cool people. And I really enjoyed the discussions and talking to people and introducing my business to them. And I sold the business to this lovely lady. She had been doing business with DHB. And then she said, "Oh, this is a new baby for me. I can grow this medical business." And when I enjoyed selling the business, I decided to go and sell my pet food business as well, which was my bread and butter at that time. And I talked to my wife and I said, "Look, this is what I am thinking. If I manage to sell this, why not I can try to be a business broker?" That's how it all started. So I sold that and then talked to Link, and Link said, "Yep, you can come on board."
And you sold both of them privately?
Both of them privately, yes. Yeah.
That's really interesting. That's literally eating your own dog food in a way. And that's hilarious. So you basically started these two import businesses, found a way to exit them, and then were like, "Oh, I'm pretty good at this selling the business part of things. I've done it privately twice." And then we're like, I'm going to chat to these guys and see if I can do a thing. What's the process then? What's the arrangement and process of them being a business broker? Because it's not really, there's not a clear business path, like a clear path, most likely, for a business broker to start in business broking. So it is your team or the people you work with, they're often people with varied backgrounds, I'm guessing, and maybe some certain specialities that they operate in.
Yes. Generally, New Zealand, I think New Zealand is being a small country. There's not a certain specialty like one business broker can do just that, apart from probably hospitality businesses. But I see these examples in the States, for example. There are business brokers just in finance business. You can't do that here.
No.
You can't just sell finance businesses, maybe one or two come to market in 2 years.
Yeah.
But every broker has got their own type of area where the majority of the sales, the industries they focus on. Like, for example, my one is more, probably 50-60% of what I sell all the time is in the manufacturing engineering industries and the import and export from my previous background. I do other general businesses as well, though. And you see some business brokers doing maybe 60-70% transport related businesses, but still doing the general businesses as well. Only you see like a full focus, 100% specialization, probably on more hospitality businesses, cafes, restaurants, because there is enough of them in the country.
Oh, that's cool. So you actually started off as with Link. So you started off here. You moved out here for a new life. You started a couple import businesses. You exited them, then started your journey as a business broker. What's the kind of structure with Link? Like, are you an independent contractor? Are you how does that work? Like when you join a brokerage business like that?
Okay, so
it's relatively entrepreneurial by nature, or
I think more people join as a business broker more. They bring their value from their past background experiences.
Yeah.
So generally, that's what I find. It could be an ex-CEO of a company, or ex-accountant, or lawyer, or ex-business owner. We sometimes sell business owners businesses, and then they say, okay, what am I going to do now? And they may choose to be a business broker and focus on businesses within their experience. And it was kind of, for me, it was like that as well. I studied, I have a bachelor's of engineering degree, but I haven't practiced it because I'm more like a people's person.
Yeah.
I like to be with people, and always I was sales and marketing focus.
Right.
And the business broking fit for me because I like playing with the numbers, numbers, and also it's sales as well. So it's a good combination of, we can combine these two skills, and adding with my previous business experience, it just worked out well. Generally, you find people bring some sort of background experience into the business broking and use that as an added value.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And is it hard to start? Because I must be, until you start making sales, helping sales, new brokers probably are a bit of a drag on the existing business in the initial stages, or for example, if I'm, I don't know, working at Countdown, there's a pretty obvious output for my work. Whereas with business broking, there's a long deal cycle.
Yes.
You got to build a network. You got to find, obviously, acquirers as well as people that want to sell their business. There's probably more people wanting to sell their businesses than natural acquirers that are in a position to do the actual transaction.
Yep.
And then you probably need to build relationships with funding lines to allow people to actually get the transaction done. So there's a bunch of different areas there. Obviously, for someone coming in new, maybe there's a bit of a build-up period to actually kind of almost get the momentum rolling. How long did it take you to kind of get that momentum?
Correct. I think you are spot on this. It's like most professions, like lawyers, accountants, once you start as a business broker, you need to build that reputation, you need to build that credibility, you need to build that network so that you show people you are a trustworthy professional, who can do the job and bring them the result. And that takes generally there is a, business brokers generally say it's about 18 months period from start to until you settle and you create your own referral network.
Right.
But for some is shorter, for some is longer, depending on what your background experience is and how much you put your head and heart into it from the day one.
Yeah.
Because it requires a lot of training and understanding from day one. If you just started as a business broker,
yeah,
I think it's a big learning curve to meet with people, understand how do other professionals work as well, how lawyers work, how accountants work, business advisors, funders, and create that network of people. Because business broker is not only just looking after the deal and market the business and find the buyer and close the deal. To close the deal, you need to sometimes connect people with the right people for like the right funders, right lawyers, accountants. So everyone works as a team to achieve the target of closing the deal. So it's a bit of a learning curve. It takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And depending on the individual as well, how much they put their head in.
The broker themselves, yeah, how much effort they put it in. Do you find that a lot of business brokers are kind of in later on in their career then, like they're probably not young bucks coming out of university. They're probably someone that's done something, and then that, I guess, may depend on their motivation. Some people, they might already have enough. Someone might be a business broker that kind of already has a strong asset base, a decent wealth situation, kind of relatively secure, and then kind of doing this out of passion.
Yeah, I think there are business brokers like that. I think the average business broker age is quite at the senior level.
Yeah.
But in saying that, as a young person, if you are in your early 20s, you can be a good business broker. All it really takes to put your head and heart into it, learn, and how quickly you can learn, and how much you want to do this.
Yeah.
Because it's at the end of the day, it's a profession.
Yeah.
Like any other professions. If you are interested and if you are passionate about people,
yeah,
and businesses, you can learn so much, but also you can do a really good job. So it doesn't have to be. Sometimes young people, I think, a little bit more scared or get nervous about being a business broker. Unlike real estate agents, you can see younger real estate agents, but business broker, they feel like it's a lot to learn, a lot of experience is required, but that experience you can learn from other brokers. It's just the main thing is just to put your head into it.
Yeah.
Start from somewhere, take the action, and it will just roll through.
Awesome. Yeah, wicked. The last couple of years, there's so many dynamics going on with small and medium enterprises in New Zealand and in business in the last couple of years. It's been obviously quite challenging. But then also before that, there's probably quite a lot of merger and acquisition activity going on, like probably from 2019 to 2022, or maybe a bit earlier in New Zealand because it did tighten up here a lot faster. But what would you say, what have you observed most over the last kind of couple of years in this kind of difficult phase, and how does a business broker deal with it and work on it? Or is it just business as usual and it's actually just everything else is noise?
I've been a business broker for 7 years.
Yeah.
So this is probably the first economic challenges, if you put it this way, or economic slowdown I've experienced as a business broker.
Yeah.
But other business brokers I've spoken with who have gone through GFCs and a few other economic downturns, and they gave me the feedback that's saying there's always transactions happen. It's no matter what the economy is for various of different reasons.
Yeah.
And it's just the way the businesses are transact. It may change within the different economic times. Like when the economy was great, when the COVID hit, apart from hospitality businesses, lots of returning Kiwis coming to the country, buying businesses. There was a huge demand of buying businesses and a lot of cash buyers because people were selling their properties, businesses overseas and coming to New Zealand with the cash, if you put it this way, or the cash in the bank, and buying businesses with cash. So that made it so much easier to sell businesses. We were attracting multi-ops.
Yes.
But that wave, it just lasted about a year and then started coming to this 2022. Interest rates are going up and the money was cheap as well to borrow that time.
So there was some people had more liquidity. They were able to use leverage effectively to buy businesses, and that kind of creates a great environment. And then now, would you say there's more? And were there not actually that many businesses, like, the supply demand piece? was there plenty of supply in that time, or was there not a lot of supply, which meant that there was even more demand for those few deals? Or is it the supply side, has it remained relatively similar the whole way through, or?
I think it's between 2020 and 21, there was less supply, but more demand in businesses, because business owners were worried about the COVID market, if their business wouldn't go for a good price or best outcome. Whereas that was completely different, because they reduce the supply, then increase the demand, then create competition. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to a supply and demand relationship. It's what you can achieve for a business. And 2022 all the way to 2024, I think we had more supply than demand.
Right.
So that created challenges, because interest rates were going up. And most people really buy businesses by borrowing money from the bank or other lenders. And when the interest rate is high, it makes the money very expensive and reduces the cash flow of the business.
Yeah.
Then makes it really hard to come up with the price, what the business is worth, or what the seller's expectation is.
Yeah.
And that made a challenging market for business owners to exit their businesses. But then coming from that, late 2024, interest rates started going down. So the market started having a little bit more confidence that the future is looking better, not on the rally of going down, it's a rally of going up, even the slow pace.
Yeah.
And just that confidence alone started increasing the demand. So we experience now more demand every month, getting more inquiries. It's slow, but it's steady. So it's a good sign.
That's steady. And people feel more confident they're going to be able to fund the purchases, basically.
Correct. Yep.
Is there a demographics piece coming into play here, where there's a lot of incentive to sell?
Rephrase, please.
Yeah, no problem. So do you think there's given where the people that own businesses in this country, is that resulting in a lot of people being at a certain age and stage at one time who own the assets now wanting to go to the door and sell because they want to, they want to sell and go off into the sunset and become business brokers or something else, or fishermen, I don't know, full-time fishermen, I don't know.
It's probably quite common.
Yeah, it's probably the more common. Yeah, the boat and then the fishing all the time. Yeah, definitely common here. Is that obvious in the data?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's this main driver of business sales, baby boomers coming out of businesses, and they are looking for retirement. Especially, probably 80% of my client base are retiring owners. I'm seeing a lot of retiring owners. So they're in the process of retire, and one part is they generally make a decision maybe 2 years prior to selling the business.
Yeah.
So we can prepare the business, market it. After selling, the owner may need to be involved in the business for a certain period of time. So you are looking at 2-3 years of process to exit the business.
So getting it into a position where it's going to be able to attract the best multiple possible.
Correct.
And have the best opportunity to get the exit that they desire.
Right, 100%. So that's the main driver. But again, the preferred markets, and what I heard is from the brokers in dealing with hospitality businesses, that may be a little bit more younger demographics in ownership of hospitality businesses. But when you look at it, I guess it's more like a case by case and depending on the industry.
Yeah.
Actually, engineering and manufacturing industries is very retiring owners generally operate in those businesses and they are exiting.
Yeah. Whereas obviously, hospitality, it's also the barrier to entry, right? Like, or engineering businesses, manufacturing businesses, in some cases, you might have been going for 20, 30 years. And also the multiples are, the risk that someone has to take to get the transaction done as well, obviously, because it's going to be more expensive. There might be a lot of assets on the balance sheet.
Correct. And it's also some communities, like some communities and ethnicities are very active in the business market.
Yeah.
We find we involve in different communities,
Yeah.
different community events like Indian community events and Chinese community events. We find some of these communities are very active buy and sell businesses. So probably that also plays a role how many people are coming from the countries who are active in business buying and selling, and how many are not here. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because we're doing a lot of work with migrants that are looking to come to New Zealand. And that is quite an interesting, piece, and the demographics and cultural dynamics of those communities, depending on how much risk they want to take, I guess, or how much autonomy they want, and the value that they place on owning assets, I guess.
Yep. Sure.
That's so cool. What do you think? Like, you said it was a 2-year period to get right, like to get to the stage where they're ready to do the transaction. So what's the kind of what does it look like? So I'm a business owner. I'm a couple of years from retire. Like, I would like to exit in the next couple of years. I then start thinking, okay, I'm going to start talking to a couple of business brokers and build a relationship and a rapport. So, because basically it's a trust relationship. So they're going to be trying to find someone that gets them.
Yes.
And then it's probably quite a few meetings of just really feeling the rapport and the vibe. And then they're like, okay, yeah, help me sell my business. Is that what it's like?
Yes. Most of the time, how it's like, they come to us when they make their mind. I am going to sell it at some point.
Yeah.
May not be today, maybe in 3 years' time. And then I look at the business and have a couple of maybe meetings with the business owner. If it's an asset-based business like a manufacturing shop, then I go to the workshop and have a look at the assets as well.
Yeah.
And understand about the business. We've got a list of requirements the business owner needs to provide to us, like tax accounts and contracts, agreements, and the whole structure of the business.
Creating like a data room.
Correct. And then come up with a proposal and say, Mr. Vendor, here's our proposal. This is what we think what your business is and what its highlights, what it's worth,
Right.
based on these calculations and what we have sold in the market recently. And to achieve this price, this is the marketing strategy we can follow. And if we achieve the result for you, go unconditional, this is what the link fee is going to be. And it's a clear proposal to give it to the business owner so they can see the clear picture of what is involved, how much it's going to cost them, and how much they are going to get out of it at the end of it. And then we structure like the scenarios in the proposal as well. I say, look, based on your operation, we can face deal structures like this, just to give them a heads up so they are aware of it may not be 100% cash on settlement type of process.
They might have to 6 months.
Correct.
Or, there's all sorts.
So we talk through all these scenarios so the business owner is aware that before we put the business on the market, that what sort of scenarios they may come up with, and at least they are prepared to get themselves prepared for those.
Yeah, that makes sense. And do you guys do that whole process like without charging?
Or this process, no payment.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work that goes into actually looking under the hood and making an appraisal of a business. So that it's quite a lot of work there.
I guess this is one of the things. I'm a big believer of giver's gain. It's came to me from BNI, the networking club I've been a member with. Giving the value first without expecting anything.
Yeah.
And then see if your value will return something to you. So that's the philosophy I apply. Talking to business owners, give them absolutely good value.
Yeah.
And then with an intention that this value is so good.
Yeah.
And then so they can see the outcome of it, and then will potentially come back to us and assist the business. But this is the first give, and don't expect anything to take.
Yeah.
So that's the philosophy.
But I think it shouldn't be underestimated how much work goes into that BS appraisal, right? Because there's a decent chunk of time and effort and experience that goes into it. Like, it's very fun though. It's a good pursuit. Like, doing business valuations and looking under the hood and doing due diligence is fun. It's a yeah, it's a fulfilling activity.
Yeah, valuation is fun. Due diligence, yeah, 50% fun. I always say, I always
On what type of due
because you always come across with some issues. We say it in the office, like there is no deal without an issue. Basically,
Yeah, for
there's always hiccups.
Yeah.
That's where the experience comes in. The more you make deals, the more you understand how to solve these problems in easier and quicker way without distractions.
Yeah.
And but you always come across with problems. So you need to be able to stay back, calm, and just find a solution. And that's probably where one of the main values to be good business broker brings to the table. When there's an issue during the due diligence, to be able to solve that issue.
Right, without something emotional.
Correct.
So, talking of emotional, then, would you say, well, what? Yeah, is the emotional side of doing the transaction the biggest hurdle when dealing with these transactions? Then, someone's worked on something for 30 years, and then kind of it's coming to a closure or a bookend. It must be a very emotional and like a heightened emotional kind of environment. Like, where would you say the kind of common hiccups happen?
Okay, we also one of the words word we used in the office, business brokers. We are sometimes lawyers, we are sometimes accountants, but this is not real advice. I'm not saying this is true. It's just the conversation.
Wear many hats.
We wear many hats, and one of them is a psychiatrist.
Yeah,
they become almost like a counselor to make sure that we keep that emotions at base,
right?
So we can move through the deal. And you are right, and I totally understand. You are selling somebody's livelihood, like especially if retired owner is selling the business. They might have been running the business for 30, 40 years. The whole life is spent on that business. They feed their family with that business. It could be generational business coming from their father. Another generation were lived on their business. And when you think about it as a business broker, as a business owner, when you have a business, it's not a 9-to-5 type of operation. It's hundreds of hours. So most of your life is spent on the business. If you run it for 40 years, that's pretty much you becomes the business owner.
Yeah.
And so we just need to understand that and respect that and make sure that the business owner, their emotion is, kept tight. So we work together and then achieve the result at the end. But there are these spikes of emotions throughout the deal all the time. Just need to make sure we manage it carefully.
Yeah, interesting. I guess for you then, like you've been doing this for 7 years, you're probably now going to go through a phase of activity, extreme activity, as the coming kind of 5 to 10 years kind of plays out. What would success look like for you in the next kind of 5 years with some of your kind of personal goals?
Okay, in terms of business broking, we expect many baby boomers are going to come to the market in the next 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's going to be surge of businesses coming to market. So there will be a lot of opportunities. And that's what we try to encourage now for business owners. Don't wait until, too late.
Right.
It may be because it's always a supply demand relationship. If you come onto market when there's not many competition, then your business potentially could worth more. But when there's a surge of business coming to market, then there will be a lot more options in the market to choose from. That's probably the success of business broking, because we expect to sell a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
In terms of my goals, I want to be more in the industry as a business broker.
Yeah.
And help the whole industry in the whole. I don't know what that will be at the moment, but in my next 5 to 10 years project to create something to make easier for business brokers to work and help business owners.
Okay. Yeah. So enabling people that are doing your job to do it better.
Correct.
Yeah. Would that be and that could be a product, or it could be just your influence in the market?
Could be a product, could be my influence. I haven't thought that thorough yet, but it's something, because I enjoy what I do, and and I enjoy, and also I respect business owners as being a business owner as well. And I'm just thinking, why not I utilize all the experiences I've created over this 6-7 years being a business broker and turn into something useful which can deliver a lot of value to the business brokers and the business owners at the same time.
Awesome. Yeah.
So that's just the thinking behind it. That's the first page, and there's no more
About 8 other pages, yeah.
no other pages yet. Correct.
There's a cover. Well, the start of a title, maybe.
Correct. Sorry.
That's cool. I mean, you've always got to be thinking forward, right? And
Yes.
that's something that's really important, is to have a future thing. And I think a lot of business owners in that retirement phase, right, is the purpose side of the equation. I imagine if you've got a business owner that's going into retirement with strong purpose in other areas of their life, they might find the transaction easier to manage. Whereas if you're consumed by your identity is tied up in your business, and maybe there's not much purpose on day one after you've done the transaction, it can be difficult. And maybe it means that the volatility of the emotions through that process, and maybe even like almost second guessing the transaction, I bet you get a lot of that as well.
Yes. You're spot on. The second guessing transaction, probably one of the main causes I lost deals.
Yeah.
We went to market, at the deal, at the end of the deal, everything became real. The business owner is like, because he just couldn't let go of the business and kill the deal. So that's probably the main thing. I think it's important for business owners, as you said, knowing that what they are going to do after selling the business. So if they have a clear picture of their next journey in life, that will make it so much easier to exit the business.
Awesome. Yeah, a deal that I am across at the moment, I have a funny feeling that's been the case. It's a big business, been on the market. Everyone knows it's on the market, and there's sales, even though there's a sale going for it, even though the owner refuses to admit it. But I have a funny feeling that they're the sort of business owner where they might run the deal over. It's almost like self-sabotage.
Yes. Right.
Which is a shame, but I guess it's hard, like, because you're putting a price on your life's work.
Yeah.
You know, I have worked on this thing for 30 years and it's worth X. And if X is not what I envisioned, then that's going to be problematic for my psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, if there's no next step of purpose and enjoyment. I remember my grandfather retired very late, and he went from enjoying what he did. He was a kind of a master carpenter, and he, was a woodworker his whole life. And then as soon as that was done, he started doing Sudokus, and he went downhill very quickly because there was no purpose. There was no next step. And I think that's a difficult one.
On that, I'm big on health and fitness, my private life, and go to work out regularly and watch what I eat and this sort of stuff. And there is this doctor, celebrity doctor called Dr. David Sinclair.
Okay.
In the States.
Yeah.
So he's got different theories, and he has been working on anti-aging, that sort of stuff. He's a big advocate of a supplement called NMD. NMN, I think NMN. He said one word, one of his podcasts. It struck me, and it's absolutely true because I've seen cases like this, and what you mentioned it here as well. He said, your body always needs a purpose. Like, you go to gym, basically you tell your body, give your body a purpose to, because after the gym you tear your muscles, your body starts repairing this. This is a purpose for your body. And he says mainly people come to their end of life after their children grow up and then get married and have their own jobs. So that then your body feels like, I've concluded my job in this world. And then once they retire as well, it feels like your brain says, okay, I concluded my job in the world. My next generation is doing well. I'm not working anymore. I can sleep now. I can go. So he said, at that point, you need to give your body a purpose. Otherwise, your body is just to go down the hill. Like you'd say, it's very important to always have a purpose. It's like concepts on your body. It says,
that's really interesting. And I've seen it time and time again. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been really fun. I've really enjoyed it. Yep. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. That was quite nice. Had a nice room as well.
Yeah, it's a good vibe. That's why we started the pod.